Okay, do you have a child that you would describe as strong-willed? So let's say it's a child who maybe the minute they don't get their way, they have big sort of tantrums or outbursts, or they argue, or they become even maybe physically aggressive, but they really have a hard time with this and they become emotionally dysregulated really quickly. So if you do, I want to share in this video examples of where we, the parents, might be making accommodations to avoid or to bypass some of these moments, and why I want you to reframe this. So let's use an example. Let's say you have two kids and one child is quote unquote strong-willed and the other child is more, let's say, passive in their nature. They're just more agreeable. They tend to go with the flow. So they're about to play and you know it's the more kind of go with the flow kiddo's turn to start with a certain toy, but you know this is really going to upset your strong-willed child. So you go over to the child who is more passive and is more agreeable and you explain to them that, hey, let's just give brother a turn with the toy first. He's only going to play with it for a few minutes and then it's going to be all yours. And we rearrange sort of the turn taking because we really desperately just want to avoid what we know the fallout will be of that sibling having to go second. So here's the thing. I know why we do this and I get it. And you're going to have days where sometimes just due to life constraints, you're going to have to make accommodations. But in large, every time we do this, we're not serving our strong-willed child's needs. All we're really doing in that moment is we're just bypassing an event that we just don't want to deal with. And essentially, we're not giving them the opportunities to deal with the frustration that comes when you don't get the outcome that you want. The more that they're able to deal with that while we stay calm and regulated, the better they'll be at tolerating frustration next time and the time after. But it isn't until they experience it enough times and realize that they're okay that they will actually start to learn how to tolerate that frustration. So we want to be careful to not always make these accommodations because it's really not giving our kids the tools. And then inevitably life will give them moments where they can't control the outcome, they can't change the outcome, and they will really, really struggle. Now, I want us to look at this through a self-parenting lens, and I want you to think about if you are the parent who does this, I want you to ask yourself some questions. Again, I work in the space of A, helping parents connect more with their children, but B, how do we parent ourselves so that we can better attune and connect to what our children's needs are? It is a process where both are growing. So let's look at it through the self-parenting lens. If you're the parent who does this, do you struggle to set boundaries? Do you struggle to communicate your needs? Is it hard for you to say no? Are you really conflict averse, meaning you don't like being in conflict with others? Is it a real big struggle for you to make a decision that's good for you, but you know it might disappoint somebody else? Is that really, really hard? And lastly, when you were a child, were your big emotions ever validated or your experiences? Did anyone ever say to you, I get that, I understand why you're feeling that way? They likely didn't because it wasn't a generation that parented their kids that way. So as a result of these things and what I call sort of our inner wounding, it really triggers us when we have a child who does these either expression of emotions or has these big moments because we don't know where and how to sort of heal ourselves in that process. So I'm hosting a free workshop this Wednesday called Parenting Yourself, and I'm going to walk you through different dilemmas where we need tools to know how to address our child who might be struggling, and then we also need tools to be able to take that exact moment and use it as a mirror to see where in our own selves and our own bodies can we heal and do the things that we need to do so that we can better attune to what our children are actually needing, and vice versa, using those same moments to continue to grow ourselves. Self-parenting is a really critical process. I do this a lot with my one-on-one clients. And essentially it's 5 tenets. I'm going to walk you through how to use these tenets. I'm going to give you tangible tools so you know what to reflect on, what to look at, and how to really do the work yourself so that you can show up for your kids in the best way possible, but more importantly for yourself.